This is the plaintiff, Michael Schaineman. He says he hired the defendants to fix his foundation and repair his chimney. And it's now obvious they had no idea what the heck they were doing. Now his house is in much worse shape than before they started working on it. He had no idea they were just starting out and were inexperienced. And now he's out $3,000, which he's suing for today. These are the defendants, Dennis and John Murphy. Dennis says he's been doing masonry work for 30 years, thank you very much. So he disagrees with the plaintiff's assessment that he doesn't know what the heck he's doing. This whole lawsuit's crazy because they did a great job on the plaintiff's house. They weren't even allowed to finish the job, and they know the judge is going to see things their way today and not make them return any money. They're accused of fouling up a house. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $365 for tools not returned.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendants were incompetent chimney repairmen. He wants his money back. But the defendants say they did a great job. It's the case of, aw, shoot.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Michael Schaineman, you are suing Dennis Murphy Jr. and John Murphy for $3,000. You say your actual damages exceed that because of a job they did on your chimney, which you say was substandard. Tell me what happened.
I was doing some work on my house, renovating different parts. I needed the foundation and 2 chimneys stuccoed. So the defendants and myself have a mutual friend. He informed me that they were trying to start their own company, so I gave them a shot, gave them the contract. I was working out of town at the time, so I wasn't there to supervise everything during the week. So during the weekends, I would be able to see their work.
Okay, do you have the contract?
I don't. This was a verbal contract.
That's lovely. Okay, and how much were you going to pay them to do that?
It started out at $2,600, and it went up to $3,900 because they added $1,300 on throughout the course of the work because they needed more materials.
Okay, so you didn't have a problem with that?
I didn't because I just wanted the job done.
Okay, so you pay them in total then $3,900 to do the job. And you should get your money back, why?
Because the job was done incorrectly.
Poorly. How was it done incorrectly?
They continued to use the same materials, never purchased any more materials to do it correctly.
What makes you say that?
Because I witnessed it. I have documentation showing the materials they had. They were just using a mortar. They weren't using any sort of stucco equipment. They were just using sand and mortar. It was a yellow sand, not even a white sand. And that's reflected in a recording I have with him. He was I gave him $300 cash to pick up white sand. He didn't even get the white sand, continued with the yellow.
Okay. What else is wrong with the job?
Some of the foundation is starting to chip off. They didn't even get to the chimneys. I had them stop the work because as they were doing the chimneys, I noticed that they were laying the lath wrong.
And they were laying it wrong?
Yes, they were laying it wrong initially. So
how did you know they were laying it wrong?
Because I consulted my masons after seeing what they were doing. They had 2 pieces vertically that weren't even touching. I know you're supposed to overlap. For integrity, you're supposed to overlap. I have photos that reflect that as well.
Okay, but I don't understand. Like, if you know so much, why did you hire 2 guys who just formed their own company? Because they were friends of a friend?
Basically, I started
Who
out
are you
there.
asking all these questions of? That's the person you should hire. There's somebody telling you, no, it's supposed to be this way. No, it's supposed to be that. Who's that person?
That's a mason that I use on different projects.
Why did you use that mason on this project?
I wish I had from the start.
Okay. All right, so at some point you confront them and you say, this has got to stop. I can't have you guys continue the job.
Correct.
And according to you, you reach an agreement with them, and you have an agreement in writing now, that agreement that says that they're going to return $1,600 to you and call it a day.
Correct.
Okay, can I see that agreement? Who wrote it? You did, okay. So at some point you negotiate with them and then you tell them, I need you to return some money and we'll just call it a day. They sign it, you sign it, says I will be returning $1,600 and accepting full payment of the services I've done for the 14 and nothing else is going to be due. The repayments will be as follows. $400 the week of November 23rd, $600 the month of December, $600 the month of January. So you gave him time to pay it back. Did he pay back any of it?
No.
Okay, what happened in November?
In November
23rd.
November 23rd, I contacted him and asked him about the payment. This was all through text message,
okay.
And he told me that I misunderstood. He couldn't start the project that he was supposed to do to get the money.
Okay.
So I gave him a little bit extra time. I told him, look, I'll give you another week, but after that, I'm done. You know, I'm going to pursue the matter differently. After that week was up, he just ignored any calls, any attempt to
Do you have
contact.
texts you were going to show me?
Yes.
Do you have them in the phone or no?
I have them in the phone as well.
Yeah, I like seeing them in the phone because I like scrolling up and down.
That's fine.
It's a nasty little habit I have. What's going on?
Well,
You guys know what you're doing?
yes.
How long have you been doing it?
I started humping block when I was 16.
Hump and block?
Yeah.
Can you call it something else? Is that like that's not what it's called in the industry,
I started
is it?
laboring when I was
Okay,
16.
but what were you doing before you formed this company?
Working as a mason.
Okay, for other people?
Yes, for
Okay.
another company.
Are you licensed? Is that a license?
You don't need a license to be a mason. You just have to know what you're doing, and the guys could tell. They'll fire you on the first day if you don't know what you're doing.
Okay, but are you working under someone else's license when you're working for the... Do you have a license now or no?
No. I was looking into all of that. I was just starting to get out on my own.
You're supposed to have one, but you don't have one? So what's going on? Because he says that there's multiple mistakes on this problem.
I heard what he said. I have a contract that he signed in the beginning. There was 2 phases to the contract. The first phase was to arrest the damage that his fireplace was doing because it was peeling off the building, and then put a footing in, and that would freeze it in place. And that was phase 1. The phase 2 would have been to put a firebox in on the inside, but he decided to not do that. I have that contract right here. That we completed phase 1 of that for $1,150.
You have a contract from before?
Yes.
That's what we started on.
Yes. This
Let
is
me
the
see
initial contract that we
Did he
all...
sign that?
Yep.
That is the carbon copy of the contract.
Did he sign that?
He and I both signed.
Did he? Where's his
No,
signature?
He has it. He has the one that
You
we
never
all
got
signed.
the signed contract?
I'm not a businessman, apparently.
I'll
That's
say.
my problem.
I'll
I didn't
say.
write all this down. I should have done all of that.
Was there a document like this that you saw?
I have it.
Okay. So did he do the phase 1 that he's talking about?
Yes, he did.
Okay, let's see. Down here it says phase 1 is $900 in labor and $250 materials for a total of $1,150, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you agree he did that part. Why are you suing for $3,000 then?
I gave him a little over $3,000, and he did that part incorrectly as well.
Okay, what evidence do you have that he did that part incorrectly?
The only thing I have is an estimate that shows that they have to redo the brick cap and that they have to restucco everything. I don't have a written statement saying that it was done wrong.
Well, that's kind of what you're supposed to bring here if you want to say it was done wrong, right? Like my needs aren't, it's not like I'm not like a crazy judge asking for some wild thing. I'm asking you to prove what your premise is, which is it was done wrong. According to these canceled checks, he's paid you $3,770.
And there was also $300 cash, Your Honor.
Then so it's a total of $4,000.
So what was it,
All right, let me ask you a question.
26 and 11?
At some point, you guys decide that everybody's going to walk away, and you sign this document that says that you're going to pay him $1,600. What happened?
He came outside and said, I don't think your heart's into the job anymore. I think I'd like it if I let my mason finish. And I'm like, okay, great. I was thrilled. I was going to grab my stuff and go. And then he comes out with the paper that says the $1,600 thing and says, with his 150-pound dog next to him, and says, sign this or you can't leave. So I was happy to sign it, and
I'm sorry.
I got to my car so fast.
I'm sorry. Stop. Are you suggesting to me that you signed it under duress?
Oh, I was definitely.
Were the two of you there?
I was not.
No, I was.
So
I was
you're
finishing
there.
that.
You probably have 100 pounds on him.
I'm not scared of him. I've been bit by a large dog.
So he
I
had
was
a large
terrified.
dog,
He's
and
got
did
a
he
big
say
dog.
sick him? Was he doing
No,
anything
no,
with the
no,
dog?
the dog
so
seemed
you
calm and-
read the entire
but the
document,
way he-
agreed with it, and signed it because he has a pet?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I
It's
was.
not that you signed it and then you're just a creep and didn't follow up with what you said you do and didn't pay back the $1,600 because you thought about it and you'd rather put the $1,600 in your pocket than put it in his?
No, I would have
That's
signed
not it, because it's
anything.
kind
I
of looking
didn't-
that way.
So when you hire a contractor, how do you know they're good?
You go to the Better Business Bureau and check them out to see if there have been any complaints against them.
Okay, fair enough, but that's not always a great solution. What do you say? What else do you do?
I would look online, just see if there's any reviews about them, what other people are saying. Yelp's a good site.
That's actually a good idea, too. Anybody else have another idea? Okay, I'll give you one in a minute, okay? Going inside the courtroom.
I didn't do anything wrong to his job. I bent over backwards for him. I plastered his foundation 3 different
My
times.
dear,
we worked
why
twice
would
as
you
many.
sign this and say, I'm going to pay you back $1,600? In fact, you worked out a payment plan
He-
where you're paying $400 in November. How did you end up writing this, like the different amounts that he could afford to pay? Was there discussion between the two of you?
Yeah,
Or did you just pick it?
I have a recording because he didn't have money to pay me, so I gave him the option to
Let
give
me
me
hear your
payment.
recording. I want to hear what
I
he's
have-
saying. Oh, I got it.
Photos as well of his
Yeah.
work.
Hold on. Did you know he was taping you?
No.
No.
Now, where's all the materials for this job? You already have the $2,600 plus $300. You already have $300 over what the original price of this was, right? And now that you have that and it's spent, there's no materials here to complete what I gave you material money for. Has me concerned because now your horse is not in it, and you don't have money to get the materials to tell me now, right?
Yeah, I know, I'm broke.
You're telling me that you don't have money to get these materials, but you're going to be done by Monday? How does that work?
Well, I was gonna ask you to.
No, I'm done giving money. I'm done giving money out until this is completed. So we have another option then. Okay. If you want, I can have my masons come and finish this, but I'm going to be asking you for $1,600 back because that's more than fair. $1,400 with them having to redo everything themselves is going to cost me about $2,600. I can't let you leave without have something, you know, in writing, and make sure that I have my covered.
I'll give you 400 out of that, 400 out of the next one, 400 out of the next one. I'm never gonna dish you. You're a friend of Scott's.
Look, oh, you do? You feel terrible because he's a friend of Scott's? Jeez, because it looked like you ditched him. It doesn't sound to me like you're being coerced in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know. I just wanted out of there. I was done. I lost the taste.
Yeah, that's not coercion. You said, you got paid a lot of money on this, and the fact I'm not talking to you right now. The fact that you just keep spending the money on your own bills and your own things, that's not good. That's bad. All right, listen. If it was good enough for you then, it's good enough for me now. I'm going to order them to return $1,600 to you. So
I have photo documentation. You can see.
Yeah, let me see the photos you have. But you're expecting me to draw a conclusion from visually looking at that. Maybe I will. Maybe they're so horrible that you have a counterclaim against him for $365. You have got to be kidding me.
Well, he stole our tools.
Yeah, I went back to get the tools and they were gone.
Just gone.
Hold on. How does he steal your tools? You guys, stop. You guys were in the middle of a job.
No, he told us to leave.
Stop talking. No, he didn't. Your brother is your brother.
Yes.
She is settling the situation with him.
Correct.
Why don't you just take all your stuff with you that day?
I grabbed what I could and I got out of there.
Oh, okay. Well, then why don't you go the next day and get all your stuff?
I went back a couple of days later. He was there. I didn't want to be there when he was there. When I finally went back, it was gone.
When you finally went back was how much later?
A week.
Yeah, a week later.
Okay, now according to you, his stuff was all where? Out front or on the roof?
This is still there. The materials that he was supposed to take with his wheelbarrow is still sitting on the side of my house. His tools that were also on the side of the house are gone.
That's a lie. He gave them to a gentleman, and I spoke to the gentleman. That's a lie.
Do you have any evidence of what you just said?
We can call him. I have his phone number, Dougie, the cider.
He gave away our tools.
Who was the guy? What's the guy's name?
Dougie.
Dougie. Did you tell Dougie he could take the tools because nobody's picking them up?
I told him to take the tools eventually.
And what was the other answer?
Hold on. And so Dougie you said, these guys haven't picked up the stuff, and how many days had passed?
It was at least a couple weeks.
You don't know?
I don't know specifically.
Well, you don't have a right to just get rid of stuff after a couple weeks. That doesn't belong to you. All right, here's where we are, folks. I'm ruling in the favor of the plaintiffs. You're returning $1,600 to him, okay? And as for your counterclaim, go pick up whatever's left for you to pick up.
There's nothing there.
There's a wheelbarrow. He just said
Yeah,
there's still a wheelbarrow.
Yes, the wheelbarrow. Sure.
You want it or you don't?
I do. Of course.
You do? Then go pick it up.
And the
are we
materials,
going to
Your
have a
Honor?
problem because they have to go on your property to pick it up?
No, but I would like him to take all the materials as well that's with the wheelbarrow. This is the material that's there. There's probably about 5 bags of the wrong product.
Why did you say to me earlier when I asked you what happened to the tools? He picked them up. I don't know. They're not there. When you know what happened to him because you told Dougie to take them?
It was
you're a liar?
judgment. I apologize, Your Honor.
You apologize for lying to me?
Really?
Yes, I do.
Good question.
You know what? Y'all deserve each other. But I think that probably the fairest estimate of what money should be returned was the one that was arrived at willingly, not through coercion, not because there's a dog in the vicinity, but the one that takes place before it ends up in court. That's probably the most reasonable estimate of what is a fair amount to be returned. $1,600 worth for the plaintiff.
All right, here they come. You made the deal for $1,600, and judge tells you have to stick with that deal. What's your reaction to this?
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
We can handle
I'm happy to never talk to him again.
Right,
I'm glad the judge seen him for what he was.
What about your foray into being an entrepreneur?
no, I already work for somebody else again. I waited so long to start a business, and it was terrible.
Didn't work out?
No.
Back to humping block.
Yeah,
Excellent. I was waiting for that.
Have a good one.
All right, so step on in here, and your feeling about this outcome here?
I'm fine with it.
You kind of got nailed at the end there.
I did. I made an error in judgment, like I said. And it was foolish of me.
How about the judgment of hiring these two gentlemen right here?
That was even more an error in judgment.
All right, Harvey.
Okay, contractors in most states are licensed by the state. And what you do is you contact the licensing board, and they have a whole list of discipline, claims, gripes, and it will really help you in making that decision. Plus, get a good referral. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.